Throughout my time as a landscape photographer, I have discovered a number of locations of incredible beauty. For this list, I'm going to be ranking waterfalls in North America. All of these waterfalls are remote, with many never having been named or photographed. A list like this is inherently subjective, and your criteria might be different from mine. I'm ranking these waterfalls in terms of how they fit into their surrounding landscapes to make a cohesive and compelling picture. It is no coincidence that many of these waterfalls are set right in front of very impressive mountains. Starting off at number 10, right outside of Zion National Park, we have Chasm Lake Falls. This waterfall doesn't have an official name, partially due to its remoteness and partially due to its status as an ephemeral waterfall. This means water only flows during periods of snowmelt or rain. The waterfall sits at the mouth of an incredible canyon with several good potential views. This is one of my favorite vantage points. I'm using Google Earth Pro Ground View for a rendition of what the falls might look like at this point. Access is relatively easy compared to some on this list, though ropes are required for many of the more desirable vantage points. It's about 4 miles to access the canyon from the top and more like 15 from the bottom. Neither has a trail. If you look up canyon, you can see markings on the rock indicating that another waterfall also flows into this canyon. You can see that canyon right here, flowing directly into Chasm Lake, making this a beautiful dual waterfall system. Now moving on to number 9. Number 9 is located within the beautiful Yosemite National Park, but it is not visible from any maintained trail or viewpoint in the park. This waterfall is called Pyewiak Cascade and has exceptional views of Half Dome and great light at sunset. This imagery is from a photosphere on Google Earth in July. I've actually visited this waterfall, but it was during November and water was not flowing. It's reasonably easy to access this waterfall going off trail from Olmsted Point, but you do have to be careful because there is no trail and it can be quite steep. This is the sunset footage I recorded on that day. Number 8 is a small, unnamed waterfall set right in front of Mount Whitney. The incredible background is what sets this waterfall apart. Access is relatively easy through the Mountaineers route, only about 4 miles from the trailhead. Cliffs can make close access difficult though. This area is exceptionally beautiful and quite high on my list. For number 7, we move towards Kings Canyon National Park. I don't believe this waterfall has a name, but the river that feeds it is called Silver Creek. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to call it Silver Creek Falls. This waterfall is quite difficult to get to. It requires accessing Tahifity Valley and then following the Middle Fork downstream a mile or two and crossing the Middle Fork Kings. This I imagine might prove quite difficult, especially during high water, as the Middle Fork Kings is a famous Class 5 kayaking route. Total mileage is about 35 miles, but the majority is on trail. The absolutely incredible alignment of features for this waterfall put it high up on this list. The mountain in back does receive some light during early sunset, and the waterfall is incredibly well defined. For number 6, we head towards Canada. As we will soon see, the top of this list is dominated by Canada, which has an abundance of high peaks and large volume waterfalls fed by glaciers. This waterfall is called Helmet Falls, and it is quite tall at 1,155 feet, and it is importantly staged next to some very impressive mountains. This waterfall is located on the legendary Rockwall Trail. Access is not particularly difficult, but requires a substantial amount of hiking, about 15 miles from each side. The total distance of the Rockwall Trail is 34 miles, covering some of the most beautiful parts of the Rockies. These are some photos I got near Flow Lake a few years back. The quantity and variety of wildflowers is stunning. If one gets far enough back from the falls, you can even see the quite pointy Good Sir Mountains in the background, which offers some potentially exciting opportunities for drone shots. Number 5 is Chute Varel, located only 100 meters from the road. Getting to that road, though, is not particularly easy, as it is located on a remote island on Canada's east coast. This waterfall has the highest volume on this list, but what really sets it apart is the shallowness of the river, which allows viewers to stand in the middle of this canyon while photographing this monstrosity. This photosphere is what made me fall in love with this waterfall. The sheerness of the cliffs, combined with the immense quantity of water pouring over them, make for a very impressive combination. Number 4 on this list requires a fairly serious off-trail expedition. Starting off at CMH Caribou Lodge and traveling up canyon for 7 miles will bring you to this series of falls. This route goes past another waterfall that's arguably even more impressive, with significantly more height and volume than this series. Any viewer looking for a challenge can attempt to find it on Google Earth. I decided to include this waterfall in the video instead, though, because of the incredible positioning this waterfall enjoys with the surrounding glaciers and mountain in the background. In third place, we have an absolutely stunning waterfall right outside of Bella Coola. From the road pictured, it's about 10 miles up canyon till you get to the falls. The falls are absolutely incredible, descending from a glacial lake, which is fed by this very picturesque glacier and forming two quite distinct and significant waterfalls, each falling about 500 to 600 feet. There are no pictures of this waterfall, but it's located in one of the most beautiful regions on Earth. The variety of glaciers and wildflowers and wildlife in this area is absolutely stunning. Here I'm just displaying some of the more impressive peaks in the region. The extremely pointy one is actually called the Horn. All of these mountains have crazy names, like the mountain right above the waterfall is called Gandalf's Peak's Nordschau, which is very mythological. This area is just really incredible. I actually went here once on one of my photography trips, but there was a bridge closure, so I wasn't able to see this waterfall or Ape Lake or Ottagard Falls, which are also very high on my list because they just get a amount and variety of wildflowers that you really can't see anywhere else. And here's a ground view of this waterfall. Look at how pointy that mountain is. It's ridiculous. This area is simply world class. There's no other word for it. In second place, we have Cummins Falls, which is perhaps the most logistically challenging waterfall on this list. It is an exceptionally beautiful double waterfall system fed by an upper and lower Cummins Lake. With the quite well formed mountains behind them, this location is simply majestic. The falls are 721 feet and 863 feet tall. The volume, setting, and size of these waterfalls make them one of the most beautiful that I know of, and I'm eagerly planning my own trip to this area. Logistically, these falls are far away from much else, requiring a 4-hour drive from the nearest large town. Once there, it requires a 4-mile paddle across the lake that I would use a packraft for, followed by nearly 14 miles up this river canyon. Despite this, these falls are simply world class and something that I am very excited to see in the future. At number 1, we have the most beautiful place I have ever seen with my own eyes, the mighty Cerberus Falls. It's hard to describe just how grand this waterfall system is. The hike to the falls carries you through some of the most incredible peaks in the Rockies, and at about 2 miles away from the falls, a massive canyon opens up, comparable in size to the Grand Canyon. The abundance and array of waterfalls in this canyon is beyond description. Hundreds of waterfalls, and some of them coming straight from the rock, descend into the valley. Here are some pictures and footage I took on my trip there. Hopefully, you appreciated this list. Please tell me your own favorite waterfalls that you think I may have missed. If you liked this video and would like to see more, please subscribe to the channel and like this video as it helps me prepare more high quality content just for you.